Hello and welcome to Cooking with Miss Michelle. Today we're going to make a fun Halloween treat, mummy bananas. So for this project you're going to need some flat crescent roll dough. It comes in full sheets. If you can't find this, you could also just use the crescent rolls. Some bananas and either Nutella or chocolate chips. And if you want to add some cinnamon, you can. And then for the eyes, you can either use chocolate chips or they have these fun candy eyeballs. You can find these near the sprinkles in the baking section. And if you wanted to add some coconut or any other fillings, you can. And then some powdered sugar and water to make a glaze after they're done baking. So the first thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 375 so it'll be all ready to go when I'm ready to bake them. And I'm going to get my baking sheet handy. So I'm just going to open my rolls here. And then I'm going to unroll this and I'm going to cut it into 6 equal pieces. Okay. And then for each one, I'm going to need a little piece of banana that's slightly smaller than my dough. Okay, and then if I have extra little pieces, I can just save those to eat as I cook these. And then once I have my bananas measured, I'm just gonna put them to the side. And I'm gonna spread a little bit of Nutella on the bottom. And I just want to keep it a little bit away from the edges, so I'm just going to put a little layer in the middle here so it doesn't spill out of my mummy when I bake it. Okay, so now if I want to add a little bit of cinnamon or coconut would be good. I don't have any, but I wish I did. I'm just gonna put it in now. And I could add a few chocolate chips. I want to go easy on the chocolate chips so they don't melt out of here, but I could do a couple on each one. Okay, so now I'm going to put my bananas back in. And I want to make sure I have a little bit of room at the top and bottom. And it should kind of stick to the Nutella. So now what I'm going to do is make little cuts on the sides of my bananas so I can wrap these around. Oh, my oven is ready. And you could also use a pizza cutter for this. It might make it a little easier to cut these. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just wrap these up like a little mummy. I'm gonna start with the top and go down the sides of my banana. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the bottom. I'm gonna kind of fold it over the bottom, and this should stretch out a little bit for you. And I'm just gonna tuck it in like that. And then I can take the rest and just kind of wrap it up like a mummy. I just want to leave a little bit of room for the eyes So I can make them kind of cross over each other, make them a little haphazard. So it should be all wrapped up. And then I'm going to do that with the rest of these. Okay, so I have my little mummies wrapped up. It's actually pretty fun to wrap these. You can do different patterns. This one I did kind of like a braid. It looks really cool. Oh, I'm gonna spill some chocolate out the back, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna put these kind of spaced out on my cookie sheet so they won't stick together. And then I'm gonna bake them for about 12 to 15 minutes at 375. So I'm just gonna set my timer and then I'll come back and check these when they're done. Okay, so my timer just went off. My mummies look nice and they're starting to get a little golden brown on the top here. So those look pretty good. I'm just gonna take these out and I'm gonna let these cool down. I'm actually gonna put these outside so they'll cool down faster. Okay, so while I wait for my mummies to cool down, I'm just gonna make a little glaze to drizzle over them. So I won't need a lot of this. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of powdered sugar. And then I just need a little bit of water to make it kind of a little bit of a liquid. So I'm just gonna add a little bit and then mix it together really well. And it already looks like I have too much liquid, so I can just add more powdered sugar. And I'll definitely have extra, but that's okay. And I just want to mix it until there's no more dry sugar in here. This looks a little better now. Okay, so I just need a little tiny, tiny splash of water. There we go. So I want it to be pretty thick, like kind of not quite a frosting. It's more of an icing, but I want it to be thin enough so I can take my spoon and drizzle it over my mummies. So that should be good. If it drips off the spoon a little bit, I should be able to drizzle it pretty easily. So I'm just gonna wait for my mummies to cool down and then I can give them a little drizzle. Okay, so my mummies are cool. So I'm just gonna put them back on my cutting board. And then I can drizzle my little sugar glaze over them to add to the kind of mummy wrap effect. So I'll just kind of go across and try to make some more lines over it, even though you could leave this stuff out because your dough kind of makes that effect of the mummy wrapping, but this just adds a little extra flavor to it. Gives it another dimension. And you want to make sure to do this step over a board or a plate because you're going to make a mess. This one came out the best. I did like a little braid with the dough for that one. Okay, so then for my eyes, I have my little sugar eyeballs, and I can use some of the glaze to stick them on. And it looks like my part that I left for the eyes kind of, the dough expanded a little bit, so it got really small, so I have to squish my eyes in there, but that kind of just adds to the mummy look. You could leave a little bit more space for your eyeballs. And I'm just gonna add these, so I could either use these or chocolate chips or mini M&Ms for the eyes. These are cute, but they're pretty crunchy, so if you want something a little bit softer, you can go with the mini chocolate chips. And they might fit a little better if your dough expands like mine did. So these are the finished mummies. So they're a really fun little cute Halloween snack or treat, or dessert I should say. They're really fun to make, and you can try different fillings for them. So thanks for watching my video, and happy mummy making.